Soon, it will be 4 years since the release of Battlefield 2042, a game that had enormous hype behind its pre-launch, but ended up becoming one of the most disastrous and disappointing failures in gaming history. We're talking about a game that managed to disappoint everyone in terms of gameplay, graphics, innovation, and monetization. In short, a complete disaster that practically killed Battlefield, ruined its reputation, and left EA with one less major franchise in the market. Players were left questioning how a once iconic series could fall so hard and so fast. The disappointment was palpable, and the trust in EA to deliver a solid product was shattered. However, on February 3rd, the official Battlefield YouTube channel released a new 5-minute video introducing 2 new features: Battlefield Labs and Battlefield Studios. The announcement sparked a mix of excitement and skepticism, leaving the gaming community buzzing with questions. Is this the redemption arc we've been waiting for? Or just another marketing stunt? Battlefield Studios is the new official studio dedicated to working on the Battlefield franchise. It is essentially a merger of 4 independent studios that will now collaborate on the franchise. On paper, this sounds like a strategic move to bring more focus and expertise to the series, but is it enough to overcome the franchise's tarnished reputation? Meanwhile, Battlefield Labs is a new system that will provide early access to gamers worldwide, allowing them to offer real-time feedback during the development of new Battlefield games. This initiative could be a game changer if executed correctly, but it also raises questions about why such a system is necessary in the first place. Is it a sign of innovation, or an admission that the developers have lost their way? To wrap things up in style, the trailer even included 10 seconds of pre-alpha gameplay from the next Battlefield game. And wow, those 10 seconds are being shared on social media like water in the desert. Everyone is watching, everyone is commenting, and everyone is loving it. The visuals are jaw-dropping, and the brief glimpse of gameplay feels like a return to form for the series. But are 10 seconds enough to erase years of disappointment? Just 10 seconds of footage have already managed to generate massive hype for Battlefield again. And although I personally feel very excited seeing that 10-second clip, which truly has potential and suggests that the franchise might finally be heading in the right direction, at least in terms of visual concepts and general ideas, there's something that deeply worries me. As the saying goes, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. The new Battlefield looks too good to be true, and that's why I believe it's important for us to have a discussion about these recent developments in the franchise. A bit of skepticism might actually be beneficial in the long run, especially for consumers. After all, we've been burned before. Before diving deeper, just a quick heads up. If you're not subscribed to What's Up Nerd Insider, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our exciting updates. Whether it's gaming, cinema, TV shows, or anime, our channel has you covered with the latest news and honest takes. We even made a recent video discussing Battlefield and some leaks about the franchise's future, suggesting it might become a live service game with heavy monetization. And we weren't thrilled about that idea. The thought of Battlefield turning into a microtransaction-heavy, live service cash grab made us skeptical, to say the least. It's not what fans want, and it's certainly not what the franchise needs. But let's give them a chance, because what they showed us in this latest announcement does, in fact, look exciting. They are introducing concepts we've been asking for years to return to the franchise. Features that harken back to the glory days of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, when the series was at its peak. The prospect of a modern Warzone setting, combined with stunning visuals and strategic gameplay, is undeniably appealing. Considering Battlefield's history, we should definitely remain cautious about these announcements. The franchise has a track record of over-promising and under-delivering, and it's crucial for fans to approach this new chapter with a healthy dose of skepticism. After all, we've seen this story before. On February 3rd, the official Battlefield channel announced Battlefield Labs and Battlefield Studios. These 2 initiatives are being positioned as the foundation for the franchise's future. But what do they really mean for the series? Battlefield Studios is essentially EA's new umbrella studio for the Battlefield franchise, bringing together 4 independent studios. DICE, the original Battlefield studio; Criterion, UK-based, known for Need for Speed; Motive, Canada-based, worked on Star Wars Squadrons and past Battlefield games; Ripple Effect, formerly contributed to Battlefield. Each studio will have a specific role. DICE will handle multiplayer and the game engine. Criterion will focus on vehicles, given their experience with Need for Speed. Motive will develop the campaign and maps. Ripple Effect will work on general gameplay effects, innovation, and new game modes. At first glance, this could work. It mirrors what Rockstar did when they consolidated their studios to focus on a single game at a time, maximizing quality and efficiency. This approach has the potential to bring more cohesion and consistency to the development process, something the franchise desperately needs. But here's the problem. This exact same strategy was used for Battlefield 2042. All of these studios worked on 2042, and the result was a complete disaster. So why should we believe that things will be different this time? What assurances do we have that this new organizational structure will lead to a better product? The announcement of Battlefield Studios as some grand solution feels more like a rebranding exercise than a genuine attempt to address the core issues plaguing the franchise. Another major announcement was Battlefield Labs, a system offering early access to players so they can provide real-time feedback during game development. At first, this sounds like a great idea. Players can give direct input to developers, approve or reject concepts, and influence the final product. It suggests that EA is finally listening to its audience. But is this really a sign of progress, or just a sign of desperation? If these studios actually knew how to make a good Battlefield game, would they even need Battlefield Labs? Think about it. Does Rockstar have a GTA Labs where fans test early versions to decide what GTA should be? Does Activision create a Call of Duty Labs where they ask players how the next COD should be made? No, because successful studios already know what their players want. The fact that EA is creating Battlefield Labs proves one thing: they don't know what Battlefield should be anymore. This franchise has hit rock bottom. The developers are completely lost. They're now relying on players to tell them how to make a Battlefield game. So, while Battlefield Labs might sound like a step in the right direction, it also highlights just how badly EA has mismanaged this franchise. It's a double-edged sword that raises as many concerns as it does hopes. I understand why people are excited. That 10-second clip was stunning. It looked like a return to classic Battlefield 3 and 4, set in a modern war zone. The visuals were incredible. The potential is there, and the community's passion for the series is undeniable. But let's be real, Battlefield trailers always look amazing. Battlefield 1 had one of the best trailers of all time. Battlefield 5 looked fantastic in its trailers. Battlefield 2042 built massive hype and then completely flopped. History tells us that EA is exceptional at marketing, but terrible at delivering a polished product. Considering their track record, I refuse to get excited over this new Battlefield until I see the final product. My advice: stay skeptical. Don't fall for marketing tricks. Remember Battlefield 2042. Don't pre-order anything until we see real gameplay. I want Battlefield to return to its former glory, but given EA's history, I have zero expectations that they will pull it off. Let's stay critical and avoid being fooled again. Let's take a step back and really think about what's happening here. EA is clearly trying to rebuild trust and re-establish Battlefield as a dominant force in the FPS genre. The announcements of Battlefield Studios and Battlefield Labs are big moves, but they're also risky. If these initiatives fail, it could be the final nail in the coffin for the franchise. We need to remember that actions speak louder than words. Fancy announcements and 10-second teasers are not enough to rebuild a shattered reputation. EA needs to prove, through concrete results, that they've learned from their mistakes and are committed to delivering a quality experience. Gamers are tired of being let down. We've seen too many franchises fall victim to corporate greed and poor decision-making. If Battlefield is going to make a comeback, it needs to do so with integrity and a genuine focus on the players.